Francis and Fury. And guys, I'm going one way or the other with it. I haven't decided yet. I'm either going to accept the fact that this is happening and start to look forward to training camp and the build-up, or I'm never going to speak about it again. And I got to tell you, my feelings are a little hurt. Nobody helped this fight to get signed more than me. Nobody. And I have not been thanked. I haven't even been mentioned. It's not drawn that well. Like when I come and talk to you guys about it just blends in. So, I'm just sharing with you. I may never speak about it again. I don't know. I haven't decided that, though, but I don't know. I will share with you that I am curious. I do like to know things. I like to try to learn things. I don't love it when somebody like Daniel Cormier comes out and compliments Francis and tells the world, well, he knew his worth. I owe him an apology. He knew his worth. The expression he knew his worth doesn't apply because you took a risk and something went your way. Like, you do get a compliment. There's words and there's compliments that definitely go to a person who had the balls to do this. Knew his worth? What are you talking about? That is a term that is reserved fully for I want $10 million. I can get it because I can make you 15. Every piece and every indication we have, including the views on my own social media, says this is a loss. So what are you talking about? He knew his worth. You don't know what he's worth, or you would have signed him. You think it's hard to get cameras and put on an event? Every Joe Schmo in the world is doing it these days. Go up to Best Buy and buy the equipment. It isn't rocket science. He knew his worth. You don't know if he's worth it. Set that aside. Tyson Fury comes with a number. There's not a lot of guys that do. There is not very many guys that can draw and that can make it work. You can try to find the right stories. You can hope the base gets it. And if you can do a nationality thing, particularly in boxing, and I got to attend that one time. It was Manny Pacquiao, Filipino hero, and he was taking on Juan Marquez Jr. It was our fourth fight, but this is my first representing Mexico. He just had this really special thing, and it was so tense, and when it was done, that tension was gone. There was no bad. It was great sport and great sportsmanship. What I'm suggesting for you is every now and then a guy does come along who you can count on to move the needle, and Tyson Fury is that guy. There's a number that exists out there for somebody who the public will accept for whatever reason to get in the ring with him. And I'll give you an example. Tyson Fury's last fight that I saw, I thought it was his last fight, but apparently he won a WBC championship. Somewhere I'm missing a Fury fight. Last fight that I saw was in England. It's the one that he announced as his retirement fight. 93,000 live there is just awesome. And he took on a guy. Tough guy, work hard. No disrespect to the guy. But I watched the match. I just told you where it was. I told you that it was in England. That's a big detail. Who the hell remembers where a fight? I don't know where my own fights were. There was 93,000 people in attendance. That's an incredible detail. How would I possibly remember that? Tyson Fury stopped partway to the ring, sat on a throne, and he was singing and dancing. It was this whole big thing. That's a lot of detail to remember. I have the foggiest idea what the dude's name was that he boxed. I am not attempting to be funny or condescending. I don't have the foggiest idea. But it wasn't the point. It was never the point. So, the way boxing would work, you have a guy that you can blindly assign a number to and have a confidence that you're going to get a return. And a guy like Tyson Fury, that number is somewhere right around 25 million. Now, I got to go and negotiate this other side. That doesn't matter and isn't part of the story. But when I get ready to tell this story, I need someone that the public can accept. So I'll go find a guy. I call a contact over there. Hey, who we gonna go with? How much do we got to pay him? Right? There's a number. If the general base of it, and no, I will not get in the ring with him. Don't even call me if you don't have $2 million. You hear that a few times. Okay, I got to have $2 million. You start to figure out what this number is that you got to pay a guy to go out there and take that kind of an ass whipping. Right? There's a number. I'll take the beating, but you're going to pay for it. There's a number. So you start to figure out what that number is, but then you got to find the guy. And you don't care. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it's a squash match or not. will the public accept it leading into that squash match? All right. So I got a guy, I got him. He's ranked number 12. He's won his last 5 fights, though. No one knows who he is. He's ranked number 12, though. And he's won 5 in a row, 4 by knockout. Here's the deal. Give me a week. I got a contact over at the WBC. I got a contact that works in the rankings department. They're actually doing them next Wednesday. They're going to publish it. Let me call him. I'll get him moved from 12 to 4. So go ahead and work on this fight. Don't announce it for 2 weeks. Give me 1 week. I can get his rank to number 4. So when you put out the press release, it'll say Tyson Fury versus number 4, who won his last 5 fights, 4 by knockout. That story works every time. Sure it does. With no investor that he was just number 12 and never had a fight and a phone call that's how it's done all the time. So there's a number. That you can lose, that you can give. Because you got a guy that can swing the needle. And it's one of those interesting spots. Is that what happened here? By the way, I don't know. I don't know what happened here. Francis had done an interview. I think he did it last night, and I caught it this morning. And I found it interesting. He said, hey, man, this whole thing came together really fast. I got a call from a representative. We went and met in New York, and we got the whole thing done. I flew home. And I'd like to know more about that. Why did you meet? I fought for 5 world championships. I used to have pay-per-view records. I never had to. What do you mean you sat down and met? I would just be curious. I don't begrudge that. I would be. What did you meet for? And by the way, that was kind of the story of free agency Francis. Chaudhary came out and told the world. We sat with him, and we've actually decided to pull our offer. Bellator has not told the world the story, but it was very similar. And there was no offer submitted. Bare knuckle boxing. Right? Feldman went as far as to say we made a phone call to have a meeting, and after the phone call, we canceled the whole thing. There was something about when you get to that it wasn't working. But they wanted to meet. I don't know what was in that meeting or conversation. I would be very curious. What did you need to see him for? Did this representative fly into New York? What did you fly in for? You gonna call the guy? I'm just curious. I don't begrudge this way of business. Business can't be done that way. Not this one. There's a lot of fighters thinking, sure, well, before each fight, let's sit down and talk. You can't, man. I'm doing 11 fights a week. I'm not doing 22 meetings a week. It's not going to happen. We're doing this like this, or we're not doing it at all. But for some reason, free agency Francis, it wasn't that way. Everybody thought, I need to sit down with him. And I'm just curious, what feel or vibe was it that they were looking for or felt that they needed? Why was he different? Why was he the one that was sat down with? Again, I don't begrudge it. I'm curious as to why. And Francis revealed for us that there is a rematch clause within the contract. And that's not a massive detail. There's rematch clauses all the time. Right? The contract's only as good as the guy that's signing it, just so you understand. You don't give the guy the rematch and you owe him a rematch. That has been contested. There's for sure precedents, and you owe him one. If that got pushed to court, you would win. You would prevail. But how many guys are actually going to do that? You either trust the guy you're doing business with or not. It was the detail that came out of it. I thought I'd bring it to you guys. I don't need this to be my last time, by the way. But I'm a little annoyed.